Today, I want to share with you 3 different tips that I have to connect with your spirit guides. I'll also be sharing one really practical thing that you can do today to make that connection with your guides. If you don't know me, I'm Rebecca Campbell, and I am a channel, an intuitive, and an oracle card creator. And I've been working with my spirit guides since I was a teenager. The way that I connect in with my guides the most deeply is through written words, so channeled writing. And that's my first tip for connecting in with your spirit guides. I want you to get a journal, any notebook will be good, to dedicate to your connection with your spirit guides. Doesn't matter if you have made connection with them before and you know them by name, or if it's a completely new experience for you. If you put some time aside, just like you would any relationship in your life, to connect in with your spirit guides, and having a dedicated little journal or notebook is an amazing way to do it. And just show up to your guides. Work out how much time you have to put aside. It might be like 5 minutes a day, or it might be 20 minutes a week, but put that time aside in your diary and have your little notebook and dedicate that time to connecting in with your spirit guides. I like to, at the top of the page, write, I would like to connect with my guides now. Please write through me. And I will always write a question, dear guides. And if you know your guide's name, then that's even better. But you can just call them guides, and say, please write through me, and write a question to them. So it's like, what message do you have for me today? Or if you have a specific question, like, for example, what should the theme of my next book be? Should it be this or this? And then what you can do as well is have a different color pen. So you write the question in, say, a black pen, and then in a red pen, you let your spirit guide speak through you. I do find it's really helpful to be able to give your spirit guides a name. Now, I think this is one thing that stops a lot of people, because they're like, I have to get the exact name. But if you think about any relationship in your life, maybe you've got a nickname for one of your best friends. I want you to think of your guides in that way. The more time you spend with them, the more you'll recognize their energy when they're here and get to know them. You'll be able to sense when they're here. But I want you to give them a name. It can be a nickname, and it doesn't have to be like the absolute correct name. It's just the name that you are choosing to give to your spirit guides. And I do find that having a dedicated space to make that connection and deepen that connection is really, really, really powerful. When you kind of mix it up with other notebooks and to-do lists and stuff, it kind of loses its power in essence. So that's my first tip. Channeled writing and having a special notebook where you do connect in with your guides. The second way to connect in with your spirit guides is dedicated meditation. So you might want to choose a particular song that you meditate to connect in with your guides, and put that song on and light your candle, whatever ritual you do around meditation. And in your heart, connecting in with your spirit guides. And you might say, if you know who your spirit guides are by name, you could call upon them by name. But if not, place your hand on your heart and say, I call upon my spirit guides of the highest intention of all. Come, come, come. So that's an example of a prayer to invoke the connection with your spirit guides. And then press play on your meditation track and meditate with your guides. Notice what you feel, what you sense. You might like physically feel like a warmth around your body. You might feel your heart open. You might see colors. You may even see a vision of what your guides look like. You can also enter into your meditation with a particular question as you connect in with your guides. So again, the deeper, the more you show up to connecting in with your guides, the deeper that connection is going to be. It's just like any relationship in your life. Our third tip is one of my favorite, and I've been doing this one for probably about 10 years now, and it's called a Spirit Guides guidance box. So this is my guidance box here. It's just like a little, it's actually I think I got this from my mum with this ring here was given in it. And it's just a little box, like as big as a ring, or you could make it bigger if you want. And what I do is I get a Post-it note and I write a question, which I call like a request for guidance. So if I've got a question for my guide, so it might be like, what should the name of my next book be? Should it be this or this? Or help me heal this relationship in my life. And so you'll write it down on a piece of paper and then fold it up. And then you're going to put it in your spirit guides guidance box like this. And you can put as many questions as you want in there. And then you go about your day, and it's like you're living into the question with them. So in connection with them. And it might be a week later or a month later, you'll come back to your guidance box and notice which questions have been answered, which prayers have been answered as well. And so I love this way of connecting with guides because it's so physical, so practical, and you get to see the evidence that comes up through your request for guidance being answered. So that's a wonderful one. I recently just got back from a trip over the summer to Australia, and I had my guidance box that I'd written questions in months before, and I came back and I opened up all of the little bits of Post-it notes with all of my requests for guidance and prayers in there to my guides. And it was amazing seeing like all of these have been answered. So yeah, it's a really good one if you're kind of doubting your connection with your guides. So it's a really, really brilliant one. And then finally, I want to share with you this really amazing practical way to deepen your connection with your guides. And again, this one is brilliant because it's so practical, it's so physical. And that is, I want you to have a request that you're asking for your guides. So it might be like, please show me that you're here, or let me know how I can feel you. I want to deepen my connection with you. And then ask for a sign. You can also do this as in like, if you have a specific question or request for guidance, you might be like, should I go to this place for my holidays? If it is this place, I want to see a peach feather, for example. So work out what the sign is that you want to receive from your guides. And you can be really specific here. I remember when I first started doing this work, like really practically with my guides, I asked to see a peach feather, and it was amazing because literally an hour after asking for it, literally one arrived. I was walking down a street in London, and it literally arrived right on top of my feet while I was waiting for a bus. And I remember taking a photo. I think I posted it on Instagram at the time. But yeah, so you're asking your guides for a sign. It is really amazing if you can be really specific about what that sign is. So for example, a peach feather. But if not, you can keep it open, and perhaps you'll begin to notice with particular guides that you work with, which sign you get from which guides. I believe we have many, many guides who are available to help us in the unseen world of spirit, but we have to ask for their help. We live in a world of free will. And in order for them to support us and help us and guide us, we need to put in that request for guidance. Each time that I create, like all of the books that I've created, I work with a different group of guides. So my first book, Light is the New Black, I worked with the Council of Light. My second book, Rise Sister Rise, was with the Magdalens. And yeah, the Rose Oracle was with Ancient Goddess. Starseed Oracle was a couple of different guides, blue beings, as well as Great Cosmic Mother, and the ancient grandmothers of the earth as well. And so the more you work with your guides, the more you'll be able to develop a relationship with each one individually. Just like people in our life, they have a particular recognizable vibration to them. In my experience, for my creative outlets, so my books and my oracles, I tend to work with more of a collective consciousness. So it is a group of guides, for example, the Council of Light, the Magdalens, versus one particular guide. But yeah, everyone has their own unique calling in the world. Maybe you're a creative as well. Maybe you're a writer, or maybe you're just working individually with guides. Trust your experience and yeah, just keep showing up to it. If you're only going to do one thing, I'd recommend the journaling, picking, getting yourself a notebook and letting this be your way of deepening your relationship with your guides. So let me know if you have connected with your guides before in the comments below. And if you'd like to do a Meet Your Spirit Guides soul journey, I've got one of them available on my shop, and it's also for free in my spiritual membership, The Sanctuary. So be sure to check that out if you want to connect with your guides even more deeply.